Hey, it's the metal. I know it's been a really long time since I've uploaded just about anything. I think December, so almost a year. In fact, being that it's Texas and it doesn't ever get real cold, it was probably the same weather as it is outside right now in the 40s, slightly misty, when the last time that I uploaded. And I apologize for that. But on my old phone, which is what I was using as a camera for the longest time, the microphone busted when the screen cracked, and I had no way of fixing it. And I am a pretty impoverished person, so it took a long time until I got a new phone. Usually I end up getting hand-me-downs from people on the cheap or for favors, because that's just the life I live. And you can thank Duggernaut for my ability to record again. He just moved into a new place. I admittedly lightly helped him with some things because of bad scheduling, but I did still help. I'm going to leave a link to his stream, maybe his Twitter, because he's a really cool dude, and you should go follow him on Twitch. Watch him play some games. He's got a really nice setup now. I helped him arrange his bookshelf and everything behind him. It looks good. So now it's time to catch up since it's been a while. I have been busy. I've still been working on X Dynamis Chaos in that time. Aside from, always doing the random odd jobs. I don't remember where I was last time, but I am pretty sure I did not finish A Hymn of Valor yet, because I finished that right before we were coming into February. I grinded to finish that. Things have been going kind of slow this year. It's been a really rough year, but I did at least finish one whole chapter, and I am working in the next one, as well as setting up a bunch of stuff for some side projects, so that's another reason why it's been taking longer. But, episode 5, Fighting for Fall, is available. You can go read it. That's 5 whole chapters of X Dynamis Chaos, and then one of Hymn of Valor over on xdynamischaos.com. And I also created a short that I drew myself. It's 8 pages for the Pop Rocks, which is honestly one of my favorite stories. I want to do more with it. I'm writing the next short to begin as well, right now. Well, obviously not right now. I'm talking to you on a camera while going for a walk, but it's kind of the thing I'm doing while working on the webcomic, which I do need to get the next page out. I'm also working on a Halloween card, because one of the things I started doing, and I've missed some holidays because I really don't know which ones to do and what not to do. So maybe people can comment or bug me on a holiday they prefer, and I'll prepare a card for it. And I'll make X Dynamis Chaos universe themed holiday cards for the ones that you actually like. I did an Easter one for the Astounding Jackrabbit, which is a story I still want to get back to. And I did a Passover one for the Pop Rocks. Obviously, with me, there are always humor cards. The Halloween one is going to be for Awesome Max, my big wrestling-themed story, where Maximus takes the orphan girl, the urchin that he lives with in the abandoned warehouse, trick-or-treating, because she's never gone before. I already have it penciled up, so this is going to be finished before Halloween. But I really like the Pop Rock story. You should go and check that out. Basically, just a quick synopsis of who the Pop Rocks are. These 2 sisters, Mitch and Sandy, have a band called the Pop Rocks, featuring Mitch and Sandy. And it was a kind of like an indie garage band that blew up overnight on the internet. And Sandy got to work booking them and everything, and she used her charisma to get them really, really good shows, basically sniping them out from big industry professionals, and it upset a lot of things. And now the mainstream industry are sending out their talent to take them out. And in this first little 8-page short, They're just finishing up a show, and they're attacked by a parody of the Backstreet Boys called the Alleyway Adolescents. Or, no, just the Alley Adolescents, no Alleyway. It's really fun. I like this kind of stuff. It's very much in the vein of kind of like a mix between Scott Pilgrim and the Hi Hi Puffy Yumi show and stuff like that. I have fun drawing it. It's very cartoony, which I always prefer drawing cartoons to realistic things. I have since I was younger. Cartoons are just so energetic and more full of life than actual life. So you should go read that. I also put up a pulp, and well, I call it a pulp. It's not really a pulp, not by what people have come to understand it, but it is published in the same vein as when people would publish a short story or a chapter of a story at a time in a magazine, which is how I am publishing this book and a couple of the other stories I'm doing in prose. So I'm calling them pulps, because that's what it originally meant. Then at some point in time, it became things specifically like pulp heroes, which people refer to as being a little more realistic in fantastic settings, like, say, Batman or The Shadow or stuff like that. But that's not actually what the term means. Okay? Stop bastardizing my language. So I'm using it in that sense, because I will just upload them as the chapters finish. You can go read them, and there's one for a chronicling of a planet called Mira. The kind of collaboration I was doing with somebody on that first chapter comic fell through for dumb reasons too. I really tried to convince them. I liked the art. I thought it was going good. This person said that they were not happy with the art. They're not good enough to do this story, even though I'm like, no, this is great. This is fine. I love it. I like their design for the monsters and stuff like that. It was cool. But it's really hard to convince somebody else to like their work. You know? I know that myself. I hate my work. I allow people to like my my art. Oh, I love my work. I just don't like my art. I allow people to like my art, though. But the toughest thing you can do is convince somebody else to like their own art. Trust me. So, that fell through. Anybody ever wants to collaborate on anything, that's fine. I understand making comics is a big undertaking, so I'm always willing to work out doing a short with somebody, because they're slightly less of an undertaking. You can just knock out 8 pages, 4 to 10. Typically 4 to 10 is what I consider a short. I don't like doing less than 4 pages. I can. I actually have a 2-page script written up for a contest that never ended up happening, but I can. I just don't like it. I feel too restricted in not a good way, if you know what that means. But I'm working with somebody else on a short. Hopefully this goes through. I just kept in contact with them. Seems fine. She's busy. And the thing with me is, especially because no money is being exchanged here at the moment, even though if somebody agrees to something without money, I do insist on future royalties being observed. I keep track of everything. But I'm in no rush. It's not like I'm trying to publish this in a book or anything. This is going up for my website. Just the more content, the merrier, you know? And I've got a lot of stories I want to tell, but not a lot of time to tell them. At least if I'm the only one drawing. I can write like a son of a bitch, man. Like, I could just keep writing nonstop all the time. Drawing, on the other hand, that's kind of the problem with comics, though. Writing's easy. Drawing, well, I'm not even going to say is necessarily difficult, because like anything, it's just a talent you spent a lot of time perfecting. It is time consuming. It's effortsome. That would be the better term. It's not necessarily difficult, it's effortsome. And you have to acknowledge and recognize people's efforts and award their efforts too, which is why payment is typically the best way to go in any case. Oh man. You like my ramblings? This is what I do. I'm back. Hey! Back to rambling. This is what everybody comes here for. Just me talking into a camera about absolutely nothing important at all, except trying to get you to look at the other stuff that he does. This chapter's fun. I'm only a few pages into it. I really should get further. It's just, things keep distracting me, and not even of my own projects. My projects aren't the things that are distracting me. It's people. It's always people. But this one is kind of an Area 51 themed one, which I guess is convenient that it took me so long to start this, since the whole BS raid on Area 51 happened, even though this chapter does not actually take place in Area 51. It takes place in New Mexico. Called A Sighting in New Mexico. Is about aliens. And the gang, well, not the gang, the Metal, ended up blowing all of their funds, like their actual work funds and stuff, for the month at the tournament from the last chapter, while he destroyed the Parks Mall. You should go read it. It's fun. And now they need to find a really high-paying job to make up for all the funds that he blew. And yes, I'm talking about the Metal in the third person because this is a fictional character and not myself. There's a delineation there. And what happens is they show up to his dojo, and he's watching a conspiracy network that happens to be hosted by Weird Al, and convinces him that if he can find photos, tangible proof of alien life, that he'll sell them to him for $500 a head. And that's kind of where I left off. Now they're on their way to the lockdown area in New Mexico. So that's going to be fun. I just have to draw the vehicle again, and I hate drawing vehicles. I don't mind backdrops too much. Not a fan of it, but I don't mind it. They make the comic more interesting. The one thing I hate drawing more than anything else are cars, trucks, vans, buses, helicopters, planes, any engineered vehicle that humans have designed. I can't stand drawing them. They're the worst. Trees, no problem with trees. Natural things, fine. Houses are fine. Most of them are simple shapes, and then you just add detail to them. But cars, ooh, I hate cars. Cars aren't fun. Anything else going on? A lot of character pages. If you get bored and you just want to roam around the site, I have biographies on like every main character to show up in X Dynamous Chaos so far, including in there power scaling. For those who are interested in that kind of thing, I always am. I love power scaling. It is actually a forethought factor in my stories. I think about how characters compare to each other before going in, because fighting is a big thing in the stories. I wouldn't care so much if fighting wasn't such a huge thing, so maybe other stories that I end up doing, but for the main story, fighting is a huge factor. So I have an attack potency based power scaling, where I will update them with based on feats. So it may not even be accurate to what the character can do in full, but the highest amount of energy output that they have done thus far in joules. So enjoy that. I'm ahead of the ball. Everybody always argues about how strong is this character, how strong is that. It's like, I'm not going to let you argue. I'd already do all the math when I'm writing. You just go look it up. I've got a whole research section. Beating you to the punch. Sorry. Take the fun out of it. But it's kind of something that I do all the time anyway, so it's fun for me. And yeah, so I will try to vlog more often, update, do other kind of videos and stuff. Mostly more interesting things, because I won't have to catch you up on a year of what happened. But yeah, I'll see you later. Go check out my website, xdynamischaos.com. I'll leave it below with other links, hopefully. I don't know. Bye.